See, they don't see me sneaking up behind them. Oh man. Oh, 2 health. 2 health. Oh. Whew, that was close. That was close. Is that Pyro down there? There he is. Oh, random crit. That was a really, really far random crit. Let's cap this point. Hurry. Your catch. Hello everyone, this is Kona, and thank you for tuning in to another TF2 commentary. Now, I don't know about you, but I really enjoy watching competitive video games. I usually like to watch games that I play myself, like Dota 2 and Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but I don't watch a whole lot of competitive TF2, and I was kind of wondering why. It may have to do with the way that I see TF2 as a casual game, at least for me, but it doesn't have to be only a casual game. Some of the most popular multiplayer games today, like Dota 2 and CSGO, owe some of their success to their competitive communities, and I think TF2 could do the same. TF2 has been the guinea pig of Valve with experimental features like cosmetics, the community marketplace, and even the community workshop, and Valve's other games have benefited greatly from this experimentation. I think it's about time that we take successful features from those other games, like their competitive features, and apply them to TF2, because I think TF2 really deserves it. Now, you could make an argument that Valve wants to keep TF2 only casual. I mean, if you just look at the game's art style and mechanics, it just kind of feels casual. But I don't think games just have to be casual. Take Super Smash Bros. For instance. Now, there's a game that just screams party game, right? It screams casual. And Nintendo has really tried hard to make Super Smash Bros. Just a casual game. Brawl! But if you look at the newest iteration right now for the Wii U, they have competitive matchmaking built in, and they even patched it, and then they plan to support the game in the future, which will help the game grow. I think a multiplayer game's overall success can be helped by a strong competitive community, even TF2. Now, I'm not a competitive TF2 player myself, so I don't know everything about the competitive TF2 community, but I wanted to make this video as a sort of way to help me understand more about the state of competitive TF2 and how we can make it better. Now, you've probably heard some rumors that Valve is planning on adding competitive matchmaking into TF2. This was leaked a while ago, along with some hints at an Engineer vs. Spy update, so I'm really excited for that. I think making the competitive community easily accessible is the first step to making it more popular, and I'm not only talking about more accessible to people who play competitive, I'm talking about everyone. Now, anyone who starts up the game should be presented with the most up-to-date news about TF2, which they sort of do already right now, but also they should be presented with the most up-to-date and current competitive events, because sometimes, one of the reasons why I don't watch a whole lot of competitive TF2 is because I have no idea when these things are going to happen. Bringing awareness about the competitive community to the entire player base within the game will get people interested, whatever their skill level. They don't even have to play competitive, they can just be interested in watching. Now, this might mean they have to change up the interface a little bit when you start up the game, because right now you have to actually click on a little icon just to look at the news. That's one extra step that some people might not do in order to figure out what's the latest happening in TF2. So we might have to change that around a bit so that the news is right there in front of you and you know exactly what's happening in the community. Now, this matchmaking rating system is going to be really important for TF2 because it helps people gauge their own skill level, but it also helps ease themselves into the competitive community. One of the things that I actually tried a long time ago was competitive lobbies, and one of the reasons why I haven't gone back is because I kept getting wrecked in those lobbies. As a new player, I was getting put with people that were way above my skill level, and it wasn't really fun dying every 30 seconds. So, the last thing you want to do is to scare away people because the game is so frustrating. And matchmaking will hopefully solve this. Now, Valve has already done a lot in matchmaking with their other games like Dota 2 and CSGO, so I am hoping to see an equivalent, if not better, version for TF2. In addition to matchmaking, I think one of the biggest things competitive TF2 needs to do is decide on 1 or 2 official game modes. Now, this can be a little bit tricky because the most popular competitive game mode today, which I think is Sixes, is played very differently from pubs, and it doesn't incorporate the current TF2 meta. A while back, I watched a video from X-Time from X Television where he was talking about the future of competitive TF2. I'll put a link in the description so that you can go check that video out. He brought up a very good point about how how old the Sixes format is, and also that it bans so many items that it doesn't really embrace the current TF2 meta. Now we're lucky that Valve keeps updating TF2 with new weapons and new weapon tweaks, but if these things keep getting banned, we won't see anything new happening in competitive. You know, by whitelisting most weapons, I think, in competitive, and maybe implementing some sort of ban system per map or something like that, I don't know. You know, teams will be forced to come up with new strategies, and remember, these guys are the best of the best at TF2. So imagine watching a stream and seeing some sort of crazy strat for the first time, you know, executed by these pros. You're probably gonna get really excited about that and want to try it out in pubs. I know I would. Now instead of using 6s as the official game mode, maybe they can use something like Highlander. Highlander I think is a little bit more relatable for the average TF2 player because it's 9 versus 9, all the different classes, and they play things like Payload, which I think is the most popular game mode out there. Now I'm not too familiar with the whole Highlander scene, so if you guys play or watch competitive Highlander, maybe you can give me some insight as to some of the issues or problems that the format has. You know, if it's 9v9, is the game really too chaotic to watch, or is it, you know, if you're on a team, is it really hard to find 9 consistent players on a team? You know, let me know. Another big part of competitive is not just the people playing, but it's also the people watching. It's the spectators. So far, I think the community has done a fantastic job improving the competitive spectating during live streams. The HUD has improved a lot. You know, it shows the Ubercharge advantage. I love that because that's really important. And it also has health bars above people now, kind of like the MOBAs that you see out there. So that's really cool too. Now I really hope that when Valve implements competitive matchmaking into TF2, they also have powerful spectating tools, so casters and even spectators who just kind of want to watch casually, you know, they're able to watch these things in-game, hassle-free. Now one of the things I noticed while watching competitive TF2 is that sometimes when someone would die, I wouldn't really notice it. I would miss it for some reason. Maybe it's just me. You know, even though there's a bunch of blood and gibs flying all over the place, and even the kill feed too, you know, sometimes when someone dies, I would miss it. It would barely be noticeable for me. Maybe they can have something like a sound cue that plays when someone dies, or maybe like wherever the person dies, kind of like in Dota, some sort of graphic pops up. In Dota it's gold, but maybe for TF2 you can have like a skull icon or something like that, kind of show where the person died, just so that's very clear that he's dead. Also, I would kind of like to see the colored health bars on the side of the HUD, kind of like CSGO, so that it would be easier to compare health. I think right now there's like some sort of technical reason maybe of why that's not done, but hopefully this can be fixed in the future. So those are some of my thoughts on competitive TF2, and again I want to stress that I don't play competitive, but I really want to watch it since I play the game so much. Now, TF2 has pioneered so many experimental features that helped other games become successful, and I really hope that these games give something back to TF2 in return. If you play competitive or are involved with the competitive community, maybe you can help me gain some more insight into why things are the way they are and some current challenges that you're facing. Now my question for you guys is, what are your suggestions for making competitive TF2 better? You know, what would you like to see implemented in the official game that helps the competitive community? Let me know in the comments below. So I hope you enjoyed this video, thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.